Oh, it's just Jord.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Little Nightmares theory. And before we get into this theory video, ladies and gentlemen, I want to make a quick announcement about the previous video that I made where I released the video containing the information that the release date for the third DLC was the 10th. And in fact, they've actually managed to delay it a little bit till the 23rd. So we haven't got long to wait, we can do it. I will remind you all I will be streaming and I will be giving away a few bits and bobs and a 6 t-shirt as well, so be there for the stream. But anyway, let's get into the theory. So I want to share with you guys a theory that I was working on a couple of months back and somehow forgot to finish it. But it weren't the last till I received a comment a few days ago, which I'll show in the video. I received a comment and it basically reminded me about the theory, and I thought, holy hell, I still got the document. So I went back into my computer, noticed I still had the document. So I proceeded to carry on with the theory. Now, as you could probably tell from the comment, that the theory is about the guests and their little humming chant off they do towards the start of the 4th chapter. So, if you're unaware, let me give you a quick reminder about the chant. At the start of the chapter with the guests' quarters, I believe that's what it's called, may not be, you enter the guest area. Now, this part of the level is filled with dining rooms and private rooms where guests can consume as much as they please, or as much food as they can take. Before we enter these rooms, however, the level actually starts with us entering the area through a pipe which we get through from outside. And while we walk across this pipe to gain access to the guest area, there is a subtle I'd say, little sound effect or slight background music. But in fact this chanting is no ordinary music, it's actually pulling another hidden song theory on us, and it contains a bit of information that will be very useful. So, less blabbering, and let me play you the sound. Now while this is going on, listen out for any lyrics that you think are in this chant, and we can all compare our ideas and what we heard. Okay, so interesting stuff, right? So, remember when I did my hidden song theory about the TV? Well, I'll sort of be going in the same format as that, so basically I'll be showing you the lyrics of what happens or what I think goes on, and then I'll explain a bit more in detail after I play the clip. So let's play the clip with the lyrics. So in the main part of this chant, they consistently use the lyrics "more eating, enjoy me, go chop me up." Now at first we can tell that these are placed for obvious reasons, to back up the idea that the guests are being eaten by each other guests. So the chop me up part refers to the guests being cut up and made into meat, and as we know, this is a very strong case, as in the guest level we have a few closed off rooms, and one of those rooms has the animation of the chef cutting away, and something that we cannot see. But from the shape we can assume it is a guest that's getting chopped up. Now you could argue that they could have just used the same animation from the kitchen level, but where it's been placed and under the circumstance, I believe it's generally referring to the idea that the guests are being chopped up. This could also explain why one of the guests that we see sleeping has a bucket of water with his fingers in. I mean, think of this. If the guests are being drawn or hypnotised to going onto the moor to eat until the chefs can cut them up, they would need to be sedated or somewhat hypnotised or something like that. Then somehow they would have to test this to know that they're totally under or totally sedated. And one of the ways you could do that, and it's a very common way to wake someone up, I admit, go try it, and it woke me up a few times actually. But if you put someone's fingers into a bucket of cold water, they should react by waking up. Like, you know, because you're not going to sleep while you've been chucked into the river, are you? Or else that'll end very badly. Or to add to that little bit, could it have been the gnomes that actually are trying to wake up the guests? That's a mystery we'll have to leave unanswered for now. Another interesting bit of evidence is where we see that some of the actual meat hanging up in the freezer room or area or kitchen is a lot like the body part of the guest. Now, can you guess what body part I think it is? It's the leg. And if we move the leg about, we can actually compare it and size it up to a picture of the guest like I'm doing in the video. So that's another strong bit of evidence to suggest that it is the body parts and people or the guests. Now the grind me up part is also very interesting. I only say this because if you remember rightly, there is a concept art in Little Nightmares which looks a lot like a massive mincer. Here is the image for reference. Now, what if the grind me up part refers to this happening? You know, all the guests get thrown in and minced apart all the way down to, you know, meat disposal units or something along that line. I don't know how they process meat nowadays anyway. Also, the next bit of the theory is a part that I was a bit iffy on noting, but once, funny enough, Leanne told me to go look further into it, it became quite a bit of an interesting point. So, at one point I thought I heard the word dark door or door. Now, door is obviously defaultly, you would know it as D-O-O-R. We're all used to using the door very commonly. But now if we take out a different spelling, so let's try D-A-W. Now, I began to do a bit of shopping with the phrase of door or the meaning of door, and I landed on a bit of a gem, I'd say. So door, so D-A-W, is actually a shortened term for a jackdaw. Now what's very interesting is that the symbolism for a jackdaw is like that of a crow or a raven. It's death, but in reality they're all about rebirth, and in matter of fact, some people believe that they are also the symbol of tomorrow and a promise of the future. So could that tie in with the hidden meaning behind the future of the moor? Like, for example, guests have to keep dying to keep the moor alive. And I thought that was very interesting how that would be kept in the chant, and it also plays very well with the chant. So that's how I went with that one originally. But anyway, guys and gals, that's my take on it. I would love to hear what you think also, and remember, if you have any ideas or some of your own theories, then please leave a comment below. I love reading them. Remember everyone, if you liked the video, please drop a like, and if you didn't, then hit the dislike button. And if you want to keep supporting me, just click subscribe with the notifications on, and I'll see you in the next theory. Bye bye!